So let's start from the beginning. When we started October of 2007, we started the Domestic Divas show. We had to move some things around. So when they do set design, and what we learned about production is maybe it can be altered a lot because here's where cooking show pilots, it costs $8,000 just to do a pilot, and sometimes more depending on the production. So in New York, when we went to meet with the cooking show pilots, one of the things I learned is that in order to do a pilot, you have to have a demo, you have to do tape, voiceover, practice. So this is just practice for some of us, but for some people, they're pretty used to doing production stuff. So, but when they have trailers and they have food trucks and things like that, that's when you're talking about a bigger production. Smaller productions are depending on the budget, depending on what's going on and who the sponsors are. So we worked at this continuously, and we met with Permanis, and that's one of the things we've been able to do successfully. There's been some failures, don't get me wrong, when it comes to getting sponsors and things like that, but overall, the whole idea is to get sponsors to represent the product, to understand marketing, to understand different aspects of production. So just giving you an overview that when they're doing like a crime story, or depending on what type of production is, so we've been on the set before, so it's not like as if we're not familiar with it. It's just for security reasons, they have to go through security, have to go through a lot of different things. So back to where we were, on the lighter side of things. When we get a day off or two, it's nice. Okay, so production again, going through different rehearsals, going through different things, going for a role. You have to learn, you have to take acting classes, and one of the things I've been working on here, and I'll show you illustrating the point, a theater in the park, which we need a screen, and we have some of those things that we can actually use, so that'll be good. Theater in the park is one of the things. So here's our yard. We're going to use this as a demonstration. So we've got to work with what we got. If you're in your backyard, if you can do some background stuff when you're around the kids, especially, just remember when they're playing around on the deck, just be careful. Just especially if there's heavy equipment or wires around. That's one of the things that doing a Porchville, because we would go from porch to porch, and we do set design, we'll set it up, we talk to families, and what we're trying to do is try to meet with different people in the community, set up a porch, have a talk show episode, and then do the pilot. So here's just an example of Porchville, and I met with a girl down in North Carolina who has a boutique, a mobile boutique. So here's how we're working on this. Okay, so I worked on the waterfall, and just some of the background stuff that we need to work on, and the boys can help out with the background stuff and bumper and learning how to do a stage. But here's a good way to do a stage. So we already have this. So looking at what we have here, we do the drapes, and they could have the risers right there, and it also could have just different seating. But if it's just again, this is just a small little talk show, and then here we are with Porchville. And then, of course, the Domestic Diva show was to do the outdoor cooking, to have the setup, to have the Coleman setup, and then they traveled to Cook's Forest, traveled to different things, again, mobile boutique. And because she's in North Carolina, and and now we're here in Pittsburgh. So the idea is to get on track here. Okay, so just to give you an idea, again, curtains, okay. We have to have curtains made, or we could go to the thrift store and do that. And okay, so down here, clean this up. Okay, get the idea. So there's a daycare area for those who want to bring kids, and then the talk show part of it, the theater in the park, and of course, just doing some other things here. But it has to be really kind of low key, because that's the whole point. It can't be overdone. We have to just use common sense, okay? So what we're trying to do is focus on home remedies and ideas that are affordable for families that are on a fixed income or things like that. Just try to get where I'm going with the talk show here. And there's some things that we can't alter, but really the cooking setup is really what I'm trying to get the sponsors to work with, like Coleman or other sponsors that would work with us on like a cooking show pilot. So you get what's going on there. Okay. Okay. And if the kids are outside and moving around and doing things, we got to get back to work. Okay. So here's the other things. These are just props again. Please understand. It's just trying to get this on track here. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Look at that. Jenny's that smart. Yeah. Uh huh. Uh huh.